Good afternoon, folks. Trey Gibson here, Big Thanks Fantasy Football. We're in week 4. Let's get it popping, shall we? Okay, let's just start off right with talk about what's going on in Detroit. Once again, 0-4. He just can't get it right. Coach Jones, I believe, is on his way out. He's thinking a change of identity in Detroit is going to change things, but it won't. And that's why he's 0-4, just lost again to the illegal aliens. We'll keep you posted on what's going to happen up in Detroit. Next, Connecticut Legends get their first victory, beating the West Coast ride or die. Dre is 2-2 now. Last year at this time, he was still undefeated. And of course, there's one more team in the league that did not win a game still, yet to taste victory and keep losing by the jaws of defeat. George Robinson has got to get it right at this point. You're familiar with your teams. You're familiar with what's going on the other side of the sideline. Stanovich wins 131-91, beaten down, roughing the passer. And on the other side of the bracket, just a little bit more, why would you play Ryan Grant? He hasn't been producing. He isn't ready. Deshaun Wynn's really the guy they want running back until they get that situation resolved up there in Green Bay. Nixon. Harlem Giants 41. West up go-getters 109 points. Are you kidding me? You could have beat him with 2 points. 3-1. Henry Swan proving why he is Henry Swan, doing exactly what he's doing. And once again, Trey Gibson, Tampa Gibsonians. Big game, the 1-2 bowl going on in Tampa. It was the Bad News Cockblockers versus the Tampa Gibsonians. Who comes out victorious? It was a hard-fought battle. Unfortunately, the Cockblockers had to depend on a tight end and a kicker to pull them through. That just wasn't happening. Too much firepower on the Gibsonian side of the ball. And that leads us to our spotlight game of the week. Boy, I'll tell you, it just makes too much sense. It's the theme. It's going on up in Hartford consistently. 2 undefeated teams in a row. Coach Oliver has put the hammer down, beating the Chicago Dream Killer 108-73. Boy, I tell you, I did speak. I had the time to speak with Coach Oliver, and he was telling me he was excited about the direction that his team is going. You know, he feels that he's one piece of the puzzle away of locking up his own cash. Not only did he take down the undefeated Dream Killer, but also he walked away with a weekly pot of $25 by having the -- 1 tight end. That's great, but still, after 4 weeks, he's short, and he's very short on what could cost him his value further in the league. His quarterback situation is rough because he's dependent upon Derek Anderson and JT O'Sullivan, who's not producing any points, but with the likes of Marshawn Lynch, Darren McFadden, and Larry Johnson, their production levels have gone up last week. And he has to find out what to do about Anquan Bolden, who likely will retire from professional football after getting his face broken. Brandon Lloyd's a good wide receiver, but I'll tell you what, I was wondering myself what was going on in Chicago when they decided to say, we can beat this team, and we'll tell you how we're going to beat this team. What we're going to do, and this is what was going on in Coach Bell's head, is he said, what we're going to do is we're going to take Phillip Rivers and we're going to stick him in at quarterback. How that happens is beyond me. Phillip Rivers would not be my quarterback over Drew Brees in any situation. at all whatsoever. Pop Warner, no. Junior high, no. He's yet to consistently throw for more than a touchdown, 300 yards. He's not impressive. I don't care what the fantasy numbers dictate. They dictate a result of a quarterback having to do what he has to do because the team has not been playing great. They've been losing. Phillip Rivers would not be my quarterback ever. Throw him back to the Wolves. That's why you lost the game. It's not only why you lost the game, but you're your own worst enemy, Coach Bell. Sometimes you got to think about the decisions you make and say, I can't make that decision. I have to bring a vice president in to make the decision or help me with my fact finding and what's going on. So you have to pick up your phone. You have to pick up your phone and you have to say, Sakata, help me out with this. I've been making some bad decisions lately, and I don't want my team to face the result. So can you help me out? What would you do with the confidence factor of this quarterback versus this quarterback? What would you do with the history factor of this quarterback versus this quarterback? Well, I tell you, Drew Brees right now, I spoke to him. He said he's confident that the team still has faith in him, and that he surely hoped that the team or that the coach would not pull him in a position like this again. Drew Brees was one of the highest scorers in fantasy football last week, and it lit a fire under his tail. I tell you right now, a press conference like this has got to have a coach heated. It's got to have him saying, well, what decisions am I making that are wrong? You know, there was a couple of decisions he could have made, and it would have been beneficial to his team, that I feel personally, and his team at this point should still be 4-0. I picked the Dream Killers last week to win this game, and I picked them on the assumption that the coach and management would have the necessary foresight of putting the right players in at the right time to help them come out victorious. Not by coin flips or tosses or anything like that. But we'll see what happens in the future. Once again, hats off to the Hartford Hustlers. You know, they've made great strides. They've done great things, good things, I must say. And now, look at them. 2 weeks in a row, they beat a number one team. That's all you can do. All you can do is beat that number one team and beat the next number one team and the next number one team. We're going to let the theme music take us out of here. Congratulations, Trey Gibson. Big thanks. Fantasy football. We'll see you next week. If you need any help, give me a call. I can help you out. 813-425-4398. Once again, I'll post that number for you.